We are back from the Hot Springs Rally. I just put down a couple 100 miles today in like 102, 103 degree weather. It was crazy hot. We are here today to review the 2019 Indian FTR 1200. It's a new bike released by Indian that's made to kind of resemble or modeled after their very successful flat track motorcycles. And by very successful, I mean they've been dominating the flat track scene on a bike that this is modeled after. So to get into the review, we're going to talk about it. We just did a 400-mile trip, but it was done between me and my buddy. We took turns on the bike, and my buddy is, of course, Mr. Rusty.
Hello, everyone.
Rusty, I want to hear your takes on this motorcycle first. So if you can, let's start with the things that you disliked about the motorcycle.
I think first I need to tell people where I'm coming from with my opinion, because I am lucky enough to be able to own and ride most every different type of motorcycle there is. And what I enjoy the most is actually riding long distance. Like last weekend I rode 2,500 miles. So that is what I like doing the most, and of course I use baggers for that. So right. That being said, what I dislike the most is that there's no place to put anything on this motorcycle at all. Yeah, I mean, you can't even put an extra pair of sunglasses or clears or anything. That's what I dislike the most about it. Like some of the jet bikes have a compartment underneath the seat, and I wish that this had an easy access compartment just to put your stuff in. A pair of gloves, glasses, anything, you know. The second dislike was that fender looks absolutely ridiculous. And to me, I just don't think it looks right. I know why they did it. I was gonna change it before I came up here. I have a friend of mine, Hoffman Designs, that makes a different license plate. I just didn't get it in time to put it on for this trip. Third dislike is it doesn't hold any gas. You can only go about 100 to 120 miles on a tank of gas. And I'm used to going 220, 250 on a tank. Like I said earlier, me doing long distance riding, it's not that type of bike. If that's the kind of person that you are, I would get it as a second motorcycle. That's about it for dislikes. I pretty much like everything else. It has good power. It has a lot of potential. Just by putting that pipe on, I was able to gain quite a bit. It's very responsive. It has a lot of electronics on it. It has good ABS braking system that's linked. It has cruise control. It has a way to link your phone up to do navigation and stuff like that, and talk through your headset and actually control it through the dash on this particular model. The suspension is set up a little bit stiff from the factory for my liking, but it's fully adjustable, so I just rode it as it is. I think with a little adjusting it'll be better. The riding position is actually fairly comfortable. You're in a neutral position but still aggressive, and I think it's a good riding position for control of the motorcycle. I like the brakes. It has really good brakes, and they're very consistent. I think overall it's a pretty good bike. It's a really fun motorcycle to ride. I'd like to take it out on a track, you know, a nice little road course to play around with. I think that's where it really belongs, and it would really be a lot of fun on a track day. I think it'd be pretty awesome.
I have to agree with you there, Rusty. I agree that the bike is probably best suited for like a track scenario. I think it's a very purpose-built bike, and as long as you have a purpose for this bike, it's going to be absolutely awesome for you. For me, I agree with Rusty. I do a lot of traveling, so the distance I put on it, again, nowhere to store anything. I know somebody's gonna say they do have different accessory options where you can get a bag for the side and a tank bag and some different things. If I was gonna get this motorcycle, I would probably get it into configuration for the touring with the windshield and a couple little bags, but aside from that, it's still a bit of a smaller bike than what I'm used to riding with my Indian Dark Horse or my Road Glide Ultra. This would be like this versus maybe like a lowrider from Harley Davidson if I was gonna kind of compare the two in sizes. And for me, I agree with Rusty, that would be a secondary bike. The things I really liked about the bike were number one, the power. It was fast. The RPMs I found to be funny. They actually kicked in about 6,000 RPMs, where I found the torque and the power to really be, and it redlined out at I think about 9,000 RPMs. There's a lot of features, wheelie stops and traction control and all kinds of different things you can get on this, and I'm not an expert by any means. I'm not going to go into those details. There's 100 reviews out there on YouTube. You can find that information. This is just more my opinions and my buddy Rusty's opinions after taking the bike 400 miles. I will say the frame I really enjoyed. It felt good underneath me. It felt solid underneath me. Really everything about the bike feels very well put together. The grips are actually nice. Normally when I get a stock bike, they come with grips that I just can't wait to get rid of. These actually feel like a quality grip, maybe something I would even purchase. As Rusty said, the suspension is top notch, front and back adjustable on this model. The inverted front forks, I think the motorcycle companies, the manufacturers need to be doing these types of forks and suspension when they're talking about performance. And also, as Rusty said, Brembo brakes. I like the fact that Indian leaves the word Brembo on there so that we know we're getting top tier quality brakes. I think that's an excellent choice by the company. Also, the fit and finish, just in the way the cases are made, and they just look beautiful to me. I love the way the styling is of it. It really is attractive to my eye. The rear swing arm, another really beautifully built piece of machinery, and it all works together so well. When you're on top of that bike, you know you're on top of it. You know it's underneath you. You feel stable. You feel connected to the ground. It really is very well put together, in my opinion. The electronics, again, really nice. I'm not going to go through them all, but you can see here you do have a digital display, and you got the temperature outside, how many miles to empty, RPMs, fuel, really everything that you need right there on a LCD screen. I believe it's LCD. Cruise control, another important feature. This bike actually has cruise control. I found myself using it. The seat was actually very comfortable. And going back to fit and finish, like even this gas cap, like this gas cap, it's heavy. When I pick this up, it feels substantial. I know it sounds so stupid, it's a gas cap, right? But it's just the attention to detail. It feels like you've got a well-polished, a quality performance machine, every aspect down. I did like the riding position. I agree with Rusty in the fact that it wasn't like a crotch rocket. I wasn't hunched over. I felt fairly upright, in an aggressive position. Feet, the rear sets, I do think that's obviously a necessity for any type of performance motorcycle. LED headlights, I think are pretty cool. I got to see them from behind as we did do a little bit of night riding. I wasn't riding it, I was up front, but I got to see him behind me and I could tell they were lit really well. Along with that rear tail light, pretty neat rear tail light. Did about half of the Talahina Skyway, which is a very curvy, fun road, one of my favorite roads in between the Rockies and the Smokies. And I was really able to open it up and test the suspension and the cornering and the balance and the performance in some really good twisties. And I can tell you, if you like performance, you're gonna love the way this handles in those twisties.
I think we should mention that the transmission shifts like buttery smooth. It's very nice.
It is a very nice, smooth shifting transmission. Left side chain drive from the factory. All in all, I think just a really rad bike, man.
Very fun to ride for sure.
It's a shame that your job makes you have to buy all these bikes to try to fit performance parts to them.
I don't know any other way to test it.
So there it is, y'all, the 2019 Indian FTR 1200. I have been excited about riding this bike. I finally got to ride it. I absolutely love it. I would love to have one in my garage. For me, only if it was a second bike. It wouldn't be an only bike for me. But if I lived in the city and all I did was commute around the city, that'd be a sick machine. Like I said, it's more substantial than it looks in videos and pictures. It's so much bigger than, say, a Scout or a Sportster. It's a full-size motorcycle. Well, Rusty, you did look a little big on it. It fit me a little bit better, you know.
I don't know about that.
Y'all make the call, let us know in the comments below. Who was fit better on the bike? Probably neither of us. We're both a little bit big. I'm 6'2", about 220 pounds, but it felt substantial underneath me. Go out and take it for a test ride. Indian is doing test rides with these motorcycles at all the rallies. Find a truck, find a dealer, go out and test ride one, and let me know what you think once you get to test ride it. I hope you enjoyed our quick, to the point review strictly our opinions after 400 miles. Me and my boy Rusty, we'll see you in another video down the road. You know what? Get out and ride. Test ride something. Be sure to test ride motorcycles before you buy them. Don't listen to the crowds. Don't listen to the people that tell you, oh, that's too much bike for a first bike, or too little of a bike, or girl's bike, or don't listen to that stuff. Get out, put your leg over it, roll it down the road, make an opinion for yourself, because we all like different things.
Test it, man. You gotta test it.
Only way to do it. Till the next video, y'all, I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to click that subscribe button down below. And I want a big thank you for some of the footage that we used here in this video was FTR that I was riding besides this one by Gregory, Indian, and Polaris of Little Rock. They hooked us up. They, October 5th, the same day I'm breaking the world record for Harley Davidson, are trying to break the world record for Indian right there in Little Rock. If you're already on an Indian or you're getting an Indian, go see those boys October 5th and help them break that world record. Until the next video, we will talk to y'all later.